Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. So today in this video, I'm going to explain about what is hooks and some about the state what is it. So let's share my screen first. Okay. What is state? So before that, we have to understand what is hook. So as you know, some basic about the React. Previously the React uses the class component, and now we are using a functional component. So in the class component, React has the features like the life cycle component, like when the component has been created and the re-render and the unmounted. So for that, the functional component do not have this feature. The hooks will come in picture, and the hooks allow functional component to use those properties. So now, what is hooks? So hooks is just a JavaScript function, is a special function that allow functional component to use the properties of the Reacts like lifecycle component. Now, the other thing is what is the state? State. So state is comes in picture when we use the hooks like use state. So in this use state, when we this is the callback function. When we use in our component, they will return two things like a state and the set state. This use state we will import from the React hooks. So that, and we have to pass some initial state to this use state, and the initial state will be the uh, current state of the our component, or the initial information of our component. It's possible, like it may be possible our component do not have any, maybe do not have any initial state. uh, I mean, a component may have the stateless component, or they can take props from some other component. So we will understand what is props. Props is nothing, it's just to share the information from one component to another component. It's also a same JavaScript object. So now let's come here. So here, when we are going to use a state, what will happen? We have to provide with some initial state, and this initial state may be the string, number, and object, and the array of object. And this state and these initial things will be stored inside this state, and this set state are helps us to update the status, update this state. Like in future, you have the initial state 0, and you are showing somewhere in your UI, like something like that. You have a button, and you are using this state somewhere. Okay. So currently I'm talking more on focus more on the interview. So I'm not going to do code here. So like you have this state, and now here you are able to see 0 on the your UI. But now you want to click, you want to some events over on the button, and you will click on this button, and you want to update 0 to 1 or to 2. For that, when you click, then you have to call the set state function, and the set state function will take the state and increase by 1. And so when we call this set state on the click of the button, then what will happen? The use state, this is the callback function, will called and update the new updated state to your component, and then stay, and that updated value will store in this state. Like whenever you call this set state on any event to update this state, so what will happen? It's work like, first, when you call this set state, they will call the use state, which is provided by the hooks, and that use state will check works between the current value and the re-render value, and they update on the UI, and the update value will get stored in the state. That's how state are used to track the information of the component. Now the question is, when we have the JavaScript variable, then why we need to use this state? So because when we use JavaScript variable, and like inside at the place of a state, let's we have uh, a count over there, and count has 0, and on the some on click function we have some function on the on click, we are going to update count by 1. So in this case what will happen, this is that is not understand by React. That variable will not understand by React, and they are not going to re-render on the UI, because any component of the React will only update whenever the hooks will calls, no matter what types of hooks is. Maybe this is maybe that will no, sorry, no, only this updater function will get called, then only your component will render, and the updated value will only get called when only will get re-rendered when this function will call, and this function will call, then call the user state, and the user state is called by the React, and the React will check the current value and the updated value, and that will show on the UI. So this count will update in your console only, but they are not going to re-render on the UI. That's why we have to use a state in the place of count. So that's all about in this video. That's all in this video. So in the next video, we are going to focus more on the set state, and the some things like batch update, why the React is called batch, why this thing. So thank you.